Hello and welcome to the Diamond Report for Tuesday, April 25th, 2017. This is your host, Doug Diamond. It is currently 10:14 p.m. and we are looking at Earthquake 3D, the last 48 hours worth of earthquakes globally, as we usually always do when we start out the Diamond Report. The very first thing that I noticed when I fired up Earthquake 3D just a few minutes ago was that there is a magnitude 2.8 earthquake in Minnesota, southern Minnesota, which is nowhere near the edge of the North American craton, which is where we normally would see earthquakes progressing from west to east, down through the Rockies, down into southern Texas, and it bends back up here through where the boot heel of Missouri is, right where this magnitude 2.1 is, there in the New Madrid seismic zone. And then it bends back down here through some southern states and goes right back up the eastern seaboard. So the 2.8 magnitude quake had me puzzled, so I had to click on it to see what it was. And it takes you right to the USGS site, and it explains right there what it is. It's a quarry blast at Jefferson Quarry near Mankato, held to the location of the quarry felt in the Mankato area. So a near 3.0 magnitude quarry blast. That's a pretty darn big quarry blast, if you ask me. That was the main thing I wanted to show you on the earthquake update. I'm going to keep it short tonight because last night's show ran long. Last night I did cover the magnitude 7.0 that struck near Santiago, Chile, near Valparaiso as well, just offshore. And let me turn the rings down here so you can see just that one quake. You can see it's pretty big. It says 7.1 on here. This is a different agency reporting it. USGS settled on a 6.9 officially, but they always shave a few degrees off of it, it seems like. So I'm calling it a magnitude 7.0. That's basically what it was. And there's been many aftershocks after that, ranging from, looks like 3s up to the 6.7 range. So, well, the 6.7 is probably some other agencies reporting that 6.9. So we've got 3s, 4s, and 5s easily as aftershocks. And we may even have some larger quakes as aftershocks. Could even be as big as the initial quake, the 7.0. So not a lot of changes really since the earthquake update yesterday. I do see a pretty decent sized silent zone here near Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands. That area has quieted off. There's a big stretch there of, I don't know how many miles that is, but it's quite a ways. It's probably several thousand miles. Where we will definitely see some movement happen, probably here in the center, eastern Papua New Guinea or the Solomon Islands. That's likely where we're going to see the next movement. And not a lot of changes, though, in the rest of the world, really. Just the normal pressure transferring from one place to another right along the pressure transfer lines. And that's really pretty much all I wanted to show you on the earthquake update. So let's move on to the headlines. Government shutdown averted. Trump punts on the border wall and will wait until September. That's from Zero Hedge. Is the Fed about to drop the Moab on Wall Street? The Cherokee Nation files lawsuit against Big Pharma over opioid epidemic. That's on the antimedia.org. G. Edward Griffin exposing the creature from Jekyll Island. That is a highly recommended book, and there's also an audio recording. I've got it on my YouTube channel, actually. The Creature from Jekyll Island, a second look at the Federal Reserve. G. Edward Griffin. He's the presenter here. It's his voice. It's him talking. Highly recommended. You can find it on my channel, Diamond Disc, DIAMONDISC. I put it up a couple years ago now, actually June of 14. So definitely, if you have maybe an hour or so, hour and 10 minutes to spend listening to something, this will give you a really good presentation and a good background on how the Federal Reserve works in the con game that it is. It's a giant con game. It's really amazing. So highly recommend that you listen to that. And let's go back to the headlines. Don't open it. 9 Mexican states on alert after radioactive material stolen. Trade war begins Trump announces 20% tariff on Canadian softwood lumber imports. That's on Zero Hedge. Baby boomers borrowed $100 billion in student loans for their children, and now defaults are soaring. Breaking, North Korea conducts nation's largest firing drill ever amid World War III tensions. In more North Korea headlines, North Korea vows to leave no man alive in chilling World War III threat to Donald Trump. Kim Jong-un has nuclear weapons aimed at America in preparation for devastating strike. That's from the Express. Trump declares now is the time to take action on North Korea amid further nuclear tests. So it looks like they're all ramping up, getting ready, want to go to war. They want to be the country that strikes first. North Korea supposedly wants to strike America first, and I don't have any doubt that America will be the one to do the first strike. I think Trump is being conned into going to war here against a really kind of a technologically failed state, that being North Korea. I don't know how much of a threat they really are, and I don't think they really have the technology to get a nuclear warhead to the United States. I could be wrong, of course, but looks to me like they're just using any excuse they can to start blowing stuff up and take us to war, because that's what the military-industrial complex does best. Think tank reports ISIS is falling apart, may actually lead to more terrorist attacks across the globe. That's on shtfplan.com. Report says security forces put on alert as Trump set to ban laptops on planes originating from Europe. What North Korea's massive artillery drills really say about Pyongyang's intentions. That's on Sputnik News. Consumer confidence stumbles as stock market optimism plunges most in 15 months. U.S. nuclear sub docks in South Korea amid reports of massive artillery drills by North Korea. That's on RT. UK risks being wiped off the map with nuclear counterstrike. That's from a Russian senator. 10-minute warning. Japan instructs citizens on potential North Korea strike. That's also RT.com. Wikipedia co-founder launches news publication to fight fake news. I wonder if he'll be fighting Wikipedia. French election 2017. Second round faces mass abstention as voters plot boycott. Shock claim Obama let Iran arms dealers slip through the net to protect nuclear deal. That's on the Express. Macron is the enemy. Nigel Farage claims Marine Le Pen victory is in Britain's best interest. And I mentioned this in yesterday's report. You got trumped. Trump not yelling about yelling anymore. I talked about how I felt about the whole Trump situation in last night's report. So if you missed that, I won't recap it now, but go back and listen to that if you would. 9/11 destroyed America. That's from Paul Craig Roberts. China warns North Korea will cross the point of no return if it carries out a 6th nuclear test as secretive country stages its largest ever firing drill. The United States of false flags. That's on Sputnik News. Rude Germans boo and hiss Ivanka Trump at Women's Summit. That's on the Gateway Pundit. Obama press secretary says former president will re-engage if Trump crosses the red lines. Crazy Pelosi. Trump's border wall will take food from babies and cause dirty air and water. North Korea News Live. Latest updates as Kim Jong-un and Trump inch closer to World War III. That's on the Express. U.S. preparing to evacuate 230,000 Americans from South Korea. That's also on the Express. Defeating North Korea. South unveils powerful missile radar over Crazy Kim's nuke threats. That's on the Daily Star. Ron Paul tells Trump Assange is a hero, do not send him to prison. Prince Charles' secret ties to elite pedophile ring exposed by FOI request. Chrislam update, Pope Francis to visit Egypt in bid to pave the way to tolerance and interfaith relations. From Freedom Outpost, 104 men arrested in child sex sting. If a system can't define boy or girl, Why are you sending your kids to that system for a, quote, education? That's a really good question. Bill Nye, the science guy, goes full lunatic with vulgar transgender music video about moist, well, you can read it yourself, and how transgenderism is, quote, evolution. That's from Mike Adams on Natural News. Border ranchers fire back at Nancy Pelosi, say crossings are down 90% since Trump. That's on the Gateway Pundit. That's talking about the Arizona border. UK hunger on the rise. More people than ever need emergency food. That's on Sputnik News. An angry Canada responds to Trump's lumber tariff and what it means for the economy. That's on Zero Hedge. Islamism, liberalism, and pseudo-communism threats to civilized world. Senior Russian senator. That's on RT.com. New York Times reporter admits Trump is more open to the press than Obama was. That's from prisonplanet.com. Fake news now claiming Russians are hacking the French election, targeting Macron. That's on the Gateway Pundit. Boy, they just can't get enough of themselves, can they? An X22 report, either this is a secretive plan that will benefit America or prepare for the worst. Google rewrites algorithm to bury fake news in search results. Too bad they can't bury themselves. Mexico gets the green light to impose trade sanctions against the U.S. Insane geoengineering experiment could block out the sun and cause global mass starvation as food crops fail. That's on Natural News. I got news for them. That's already going on. Again, please visit geoengineeringwatch.org for more true and real, actual, dependable data and information. The iron jaws of the police state. Trump's America is a constitution-free zone. That's from Rutherford.org. Hashtag Flint water crisis. 1,096 days, over 100 million in aid, and the U.S. city still has no clean drinking water. Here we go again with more political correctness. Snipers protect workers in New Orleans as they remove Confederate statue. That's from Zero Hedge. He has no vision. Academic bashes Macron, saying LePen will win the next French election. That's from the Express. Dreamer celebrates decline of whites after living in U.S. illegally for decades. That's on the Gateway Pundit. North Korea points to Australia as U.S. launchpad for World War III. Prepare for war. Trump asks all 100 U.S. senators to attend rare White House briefing on North Korea. That's on shtfplan.com. I talked about this last night in a couple different times, and I just find the whole thing to be really extraordinary. I don't remember him ever doing anything like that ever. Limbaugh calls out Trump for border wall cave. The country is ready to blame the Democrats for a shutdown. That's on Breitbart. San Francisco judge blocks Trump's sanctuary city executive order. Here we go again with the judges thinking they're more important than the president. Preparing for the North Korea threat, James Wesley Rawles. That's on the Common Sense Show with Dave Hodges. He's a really interesting guy to listen to. I like him a lot. Coincidence? April 26th, meaning tomorrow, 2 military drills happen simultaneously and Trump holds emergency meeting. That's by Lisa Haven on beforeitsnews.com. And again from Dave Hodges, forget Korea, World War III to begin in Syria. Poll finds French presidential candidate Marine Le Pen won plurality of women and young voters. That's on the Washington Examiner. Trump attacks UN officials over North Korea and Syria failures as they sit beside him. That's on the London Independent. The president calls for the UN to reform, but thinks it has potential. That's too bad. That's a step back from what he said in the campaign. Washington, D.C. to hold massive coordinated terror attack drill this Wednesday, meaning the 26th. Special envoy, North Korea could obliterate the world with 3 or 4 bombs. That's on Daily Caller. From the Hill, conservative media figures disappointed with Trump meeting. They couldn't attribute quotes to individual sources in the room. Over 40 marauding teens storm Oakland train, rob and beat passengers before escaping. Flashmob crime mirrors similar incidents across the country. What this Supreme Court case could mean for school choice. Dispute over playground surfaces made its way to the Supreme Court. That's on the Daily Signal. Former Obama official says bureaucrats manipulate climate stats to influence policy. I don't think that's any shocker or surprise there. That's also on the Daily Signal. So instead of fake news, I guess we could have fake market. NASDAQ breaches 6,000 mark for first time ever. The tech-heavy NASDAQ rose as much as 0.4% to hit a record level. That's from Reuters. Does anybody really believe that that's accurate, that that's true, that of all the financial problems that we have going on right now, that the NASDAQ and that the Dow and the stock market in general is going up, up, up forever? Is that even possible? Starbucks crashes and burns after promise to hire Muslim migrants. Americans are voting with their dollars. Chucky Schumer says Breitbart and New York Times cannot be treated equally. Globalist Shill puts down Breitbart but promotes the failing New York Times. From Roger Stone, President Trump's first 100 days in office, the major accomplishments. President fulfills long list of campaign promises. A video, French riot over LePen victory. Footage of riots breaking out in France. Alex Jones responds to Chobani and Soros-backed lawsuit. Alex Jones makes a statement in clarification regarding the recent lawsuit by the United States' largest yogurt maker, Chobani. Globalists claim Russian hackers targeted Macron's campaign to benefit LePen. Globalists discredit nationalist candidate with dubious Russia connection. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Just talked about that yesterday, how they're setting it up as the Hillary and Trump situation, almost the same exact thing. Bill Clinton is a rapist, never forget. Video exposes how the media has covered up Bill Clinton's sexual assaults. But they won't cover up Bill O'Reilly's sexual assaults, will they? And my guess is that it's nowhere near what Bill Clinton has done. Exposed, anti-white vice mayor fights to erase history. Exclusive interview sheds light on recent attacks on American culture. Globalists using refugee crisis to destroy the West. Refugee crisis intentionally used to infiltrate and bring down Western civilization. And crony capitalism funding Islamic takeover. Yeah, you know, a lot of the young people out there think that capitalism's bad, but we've not really experienced true capitalism in America for a long time, maybe if ever. Because what we have is crony capitalism, not true capitalism, which borderlines fascism. Democrats demand Trump provide legal justification for Syria strike. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi broke the Democratic ranks and applauded Trump for ordering the strike. Well, yeah, but they're globalists, so of course they would do that. But I actually don't disagree with that. Trump should provide legal justification for the Syrian strike. Absolutely. Oh boy, and giving him even more credibility, Al Gore's new group demands $15 trillion to fight global warming. And my guess is they will get that through various taxes and like carbon taxes and other methods, I'm sure. They'll try and come up with that $15 trillion. That's a crazy number. That's on the Daily Caller. FCC chairman promises comprehensive review of existing media regulations. That's on The Hill. Hundreds of illegal voters uncovered in North Carolina in 2016. That's on the Free Beacon. Earth Day agenda revealed. Learn the truth behind the globalist-influenced green movement. Trump economy, the good, the bad, and the trending. Overall breakdown on how the U.S. economy is doing 100 days into Trump's presidency. My guess is there's a lot of fakery involved. Trump takes aim at Obama monuments. Trump expected to sign order to examine all national monuments going back 2 decades. That's on The Hill. Superbug fungus new menace in U.S. hospitals, mostly New York and New Jersey. Fungus called Candida auris is a harmful form of yeast. My guess is, though, that you could use something like Dr. Rima's nano silver or colloidal silver, and it probably would take care of that problem. I know some hospitals actually do clean with nano silver And it does tend to get rid of things like that, so they could try it. U.S. to test launch ICBM in demonstration of nuclear capabilities. Do we really need more nuclear testing? Rand Paul says real men cut taxes. I urge the president to go big and bold, but also to go simple. What a great idea. And that's on Breitbart. From Infowars Nightly News, massive terror attack drills tomorrow, meaning the 26th. Drill comes as threats of World War III loom on the horizon. Washington, D.C. to hold massive coordinated terror attack drill this Wednesday. That's on Zero Hedge. From the Daily Mail, Trump sends cruise missile carrying nuclear submarine to South Korean port as he warns Kim Jong-un is a problem that needs to be finally solved. Emmanuel Macron, France's Manchurian candidate. It's a no-brainer. It's Marine Le Pen or 1,000 years of darkness. It's time for the French to drain les swamps. After losing 2016 election, Democrats are defecting to the Communist Party in the U.S. That's on fellowshipoftheminds.com. We're not fantasizing about the collapse of society, we're just getting ready for it. That's on survivaldan101.com. Gotham Shield commences. What happens now? Intriguing timing surrounding a new military drill in the U.S. called Operation Gotham Shield has sparked concerns and brought back the infamous false flag watch. That's on ChristianTruther.com. From All News Pipeline, Steve says a must read. Freedom of the press is gone. This is just the beginning. Fox News in the crosshairs. Independent media is next. And what seems to be more weather warfare and weather whack-a-mole, Europe crop losses, record snow and cold with more in May. That's a YouTube video. From the Daily Mail, here it comes. Have aliens lived on Earth? Ancient technological species may have existed on our planet billions of years before humans, scientists claim. And Steve says, suggest everyone acquire Cliff High's May Webbot report. Every time I watch Ancient Aliens, I cringe because it's hard for me as a Christian to sit back and hear half-truth after half-truth. To me, the whole ancient astronaut theory is completely flawed. They have a few details correct, but for the most part, they completely ignore anything that's biblical, and whether it's Genesis 6 giants or the fallen angels, they're happy to believe that aliens come from another planet, but they won't entertain the idea that they are demonic beings and that they are closely associated with the fallen angels of the Bible. From Mount Hermon. Meet Duo, the creepiest new AI technology corporations will use to spy on you. That's on ChristianTruther.com. Kill frat boys. Terror attacks at Texas college. Anarchist website It's Going Down publishes online terrorist manifesto. So that's it for the Diamond Report today. Thanks for listening and watching. If you would, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on Facebook, please go to my Diamond Report Facebook page and give that a like, and that will keep you updated whenever I add a new video, which I'm trying to do each morning. It varies as far as what time I release it. It's usually anywhere from about 7:30 a.m. Central Time to about 9 or 10, depending on if I'm having to drop kids off at school. So just watch for that in the morning, and then I usually repost the YouTube link of it later in the afternoon. So thanks again for listening and watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.